Warning, this podcast was produced by two men who still think that swearing is both big and clever. As a result, it contains quite a lot of it. Therefore, this podcast is not suitable for children, unless they're really fucking cool children. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is Dave Fensom here with another episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. As always, I'm here with my long-term life partner.
Why not? That'll do.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Mr. Krista Greer.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
So, why are we here, Krista?
We are here, right. The date today, we're recording this, is Thursday, the 11th of June, 2020. It is just coming up on 9 p.m. And if everything in this year hadn't gone to shit, normally we would be sitting in a field somewhere in the Midlands with a load of mates, drinking beers and preparing ourselves for 3 days of rock and metal at Download Festival.
Yeah, and I cannot underestimate how much it fucking sucks that we're not there this week.
No, absolutely. I've always said, I don't really go to holidays abroad or stuff. I treat this as my annual big holiday, and it's my favourite time of the year.
Absolutely. And look, I know that people sneer at rock festivals sometimes. I know that the more indie-minded of you may sneer at it, the more pop-minded of you may look at it and be like, oh no, it's full of... You know what though? I love so many different types of music, but no music is better live than rock music, is it? Oh,
it's the best. It is the best. And the thing is as well, we get flack from the other side as well, because the real metalers go, oh, fucking Download, that's for kids. You should come to Bloodstock and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, fair enough, mate. If I wanted to see nothing but death metal, I might go somewhere else. But
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's some really good variety in a lot of the other festivals. I've been to them. I've been to Hellfest. I've been to Bloodstock. I've been to festivals around Europe, and I love them. I enjoy them. I loved Hellfest. Had a really good time there. But there is something incredibly special for me about the heritage that me and you and our mates have got with that Download Festival, because we've been to every single one of the fuckers between us.
We absolutely have. Like you say, we go with a load of our mates, and we should emphasise we go with a load of our mates. Last year was the biggest one so far, and we had about 40 people. But yeah, so that's why we were recording this, because we should be getting drunk in a field, but we can't do it this year. And so we just thought we'd have a very brief, this isn't going to be a full-length episode or anything, but just a brief kind of chat about some of the best 90s bands that we have seen at this festival in the past.
And I think, I think our feeling, when we discussed doing it a couple of days ago was, we're really getting the spirit of Download of it. And now we've sat down to do it, and I'm looking at a photo behind me of times gone by, and you've got the logo. I'm just thinking, this is fucking depressing.
I know. Mate, the only thing we can reassure ourselves with is the fact that it's raining.
That is true. It's raining outside. And it is always that toss-up. I mean, I've had very good downloads when it's raining. You always have the best ones when it's sunny, though, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It makes a massive difference.
So the idea for this episode, the idea that we've had, we're not going into this with any notes. We've not done the same level of preparation. We're not really going to edit this conversation much either. We're just going to throw it out there. So we're just going to try and have a bit of a chat about some of our favourite live bands that we've seen, bands that you would think of as 90s bands, or bands that first came to prominence or had their biggest success in the 90s. It's a fairly loose...
there are bands that we would both say, oh, those were some of our favourite times that don't fit within that remit, and we're not going to be talking about them today. That's not what we're at.
I think if I ask you, I think your answer for favourite thing you've ever seen at Download...
AC/DC.
Hands down for me, my favourite thing I ever saw. But we've seen some good shit from the 90s too.
Yes, we have. Yes, we absolutely have. What do you want to go for first? What do you want to nominate as one of your picks?
I'll do a couple of honourable mentions, I guess.
Go for it.
Deftones are a band that have continued to have success. So, and they kind of came out at the back end of the 90s, 96 or something? Was that
about 96, yeah, I think Adrenaline, 96.
Yeah, in 96, and then obviously... a year or so after that, you had Around the Fur.
Yep.
White Pony, I think, was 2000, I think.
Right.
But, a band with a certain amount of 90s heritage. I thought their show that was 2016?
Well, I mean, we've seen them a couple of more than a couple. We've seen them a few times at Download on various years and at varying levels of good.
Well, this is the thing about the Deftones live, isn't it? I mean... I'm a big Deftones fan. I like most of their records. I do like them a lot. But fuck me, when Chino Moreno is bad live, he is very bad. And that's, I mean, literally it all hinges on that, doesn't it? It's what Chino is going to show up today, you know, and like without any disparagement about anyone's fucking weight or body issues, but it does seem that when he shows up and he's been on the pies, he's not as fun as he normally is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he, I think he goes between like a kind of a Coke and pies diet. Do you know what I mean? And I think
it's the same with Dave Windorf, isn't it?
Well, Dave Windorf, we'll mention, well, there we go, Monster Magnet. Fucking hell, I've seen some good Monster Magnet shows at Download.
Oh, absolutely. There was one, what was it, about 3 years ago, maybe? They were on the second stage, and they were just incredible. Like, they seemed to be so on fire, the whole show. They sounded brilliant. Dave Windorf, the frontman, was stunning that day. It all came together brilliantly.
Absolutely. But then was the other occasion when the first time he came back and he gained a lot of weight, and he'd gone from being the kind of the lithe, kind of lizardy, kind of rock and roll sex god to this dude in sweatpants. Because that was the thing. It wasn't just that he'd got big. He's obviously really self-conscious about the fact he'd got big. So whereas he was always in like kind of tight leather trousers and like a leather waistcoat, and he just came out in like a big hoodie and some sweatpants.
Yeah,
and it's like, mate, what's happened?
Yeah,
it was like someone had gone missing and they couldn't find him, so they just bought a version of him from Sports Direct.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, Christ, when Monster Magnet are good, they're one of the best live bands in the world. Fucking hell. But yeah, so back to this. So I think 2016, the Deftones set. I've got the set list here. They play loads of early stuff on that set, which is why it's kind of worth mentioning. Yeah, My Own Summer, Be Quiet and Drive. But yeah, I remember they finished with Engine Number 9 off of Adrenaline, and it just fucking absolutely smashed it. It was amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's the other thing with Deftones is, I think for me, because I know the earlier albums much better than the later ones, if they start off with a load of new stuff and it's a bit sort of all lost in the wash of the sound, I can lose interest. And even if the latter half picks up, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm done by that point. But if they start off really fucking good and I'm into it, then they, as a band, they can really just grab you for the whole thing. Any more honourable mentions, little bits that you want to pick up on?
Let's talk about Helmet, I guess.
Helmet, absolutely, yeah.
On last week's podcast, we mentioned like one particular moment, which I think is still the outstanding moment of that set, when they just started playing Just Another Victim.
Yeah, indeed, because they were headlining like was it the second stage or the third stage? The third stage. So they're headlining. They're on, decently late at night. So we'd had a few beers and we were right in the mood we were in the mood for a bit of Helmet, and that's exactly what we got. It was a really strong show the whole way through. But for me, the cherry on top was whenever they just got that riff going at the end, because nobody thought they were going to do that.
I mean, I still remember playing Unsung as well, and just the fucking rip through that crowd that happened. Andy Copman, if you're listening, you're not listening, please book or download again. I would really love that to happen again. I would love to see that again. Fuck me, but it was so good, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. It was really good. And because I suppose because it was the third stage, it was smaller place for them to play. It was nicely packed in there. It wasn't, you weren't just standing out in the middle of nowhere. It was nicely packed. Everybody was into it as well.
How could you not be, though? It was such a good show. I've got a feeling they played twice that weekend. I've got a feeling they played another show as well.
That rings a bell, actually. Well, no, I was fucking wicked. That one was.
That's one of my favourite Download moments of all the years.
Yeah, and 15 years ago. Fuck me. Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous. What else you got, man? What else stands out?
On the kind of the smaller scale ones, I remember a couple of years later, I think it was 2008, and it was the year when one of the stages was in the car park.
Oh, fuck, I think I know where you're going with this.
And in fact, it was, we'd probably been to see earlier that day, I think we'd seen Lethal Bizzle, which was, nice. I thought, great fun. Ow! But like later on that evening, Cavalera Conspiracy, they come out. And, I have no real interest in Cavalera Conspiracy per se, but they were great fun. But then because if you don't know, the Cavalera Conspiracy, the brothers, the Cavaleras, were in Sepultura.
Yeah, Max and Igor.
And they started playing some of that kind of the 90s Sepultura stuff off.
KSAD?
And Jesus Christ, it was just brilliant. Fair enough, we're never going to see that iteration of Sepultura again.
That was as close as you could get, though, wasn't it?
Exactly. And everyone says that the new iteration of Sepultura are really good. And I've seen them. They are great, but...
Oh, great, yeah, absolutely great.
Max singing those songs was the best thing. Just coming out with Refuse, Resist and Territory and stuff like this. It was brilliant. Blew me away.
Territory was a third song. Fucking Refuse, Resist.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Played Arise and Dead Embryonic Cells. Do you know what I mean? and then they finished it off with Roots, Bloody Roots. Now, right. Don't get me wrong. My memory isn't this fucking good. I am looking at the set list as we're talking here.
Indeed.
But I still remember them finishing with Roots, Bloody Roots, and just us looking at each other and like, fuck's sake. And
God, and that's it. Everyone was just looking around at each other going, I can't believe they're playing this one. And then, oh my God, I can't believe they're playing this one. It just went on and on. Everybody was loving every second of it.
Yeah, it was the right time for those songs, man.
That was like 2008. That was a long time ago as well. It was ages ago.
We've been seeing these bands for a long time now because we're old fucking men, but still having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, love it. Absolutely love it.
That was a good time, man. I remember that. That is literally one of my all-time favourite download memories.
That stands out for me, yeah.
I mean, I can't remember. Were you there the first time System of a Down headlined?
Yes, I was. Yeah. I remember thinking that the songs were very good, but the band were pretty dull. Does that sound right? Was that one?
That's the first time, because the first time was one of the very, very early ones. I think it was like 2005.
Oh, God. Oh, right. Oh, no, I would have seen it. I don't remember.
Because, this is the thing. I remember seeing that, and I remember Chris Green, our friend Chris Green, being there.
Yeah.
And I remember we were with our friend Jim, who was playing bass in Johnny Truant at the time.
Uh-huh.
I was a fan of System of a Down, and those guys were more sceptical. And they came out, and I was a little bit like, oh, they're okay, they're all right. But I'll be honest with you, this was a long time ago, guys. Nothing like this in my life anymore. But we may have been enjoying some refreshments.
Right. Yes.
And amazingly, the more refreshed we got, the better the band got. And by the end of it, everyone was really fucking into it, like in a really intensely focused way. But absolutely fucking loved that set. 23 songs. Fucking everything, because it was before they split up for the first time, so it was at the kind of the height of their powers. Probably also they hated each other, but I had a fucking wonderful time. And the thing, this is something that is worth mentioning, right?
Yeah.
Whether the bands are good or bad is almost somewhat academic at some points at Download Festival.
Of course it is. Well, at any festival, I think anyone would agree.
Because, like, if you're in the mood for the songs and you're drunk enough, it kind of doesn't matter how well or badly they play them within certain tolerances.
Of course. We have both seen shocking performances at Download.
Oh,
when we've gone, oh, God, this is embarrassing.
We walked away from Black Sabbath, man.
I know. Yeah, the very last Black Sabbath show when Ozzy couldn't sing, bless him, for the first 4 or 5 songs. Not good. But you're right. I bet you there's some of the shows that we've seen that we remember really fucking brilliantly. If you went back and you saw footage, you go, oh, okay, that was all right.
Well, here is a perfect example of this, right? Friend of the show, Mr. Mike Collins, we mentioned him in the Faith No More episode.
Yep.
He went to see Smashing Pumpkins and The Last Dance. Was it last year?
Yeah, it was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I saw his Twitter, and I saw him went, they were absolutely brilliant. And I went, what the fuck were you watching?
Yeah.
Because what I saw was dog shit. It was terrible. Like like we're talking about 90s bands. Fuck, I mean, I never saw Smashing Pumpkins back in the day. And I was really looking forward to it. I thought they were going to come back and be revitalized, and it was just fucking tired and turgid.
And it was embarrassing watching Billy Corgan be that much of a dick.
Yeah. But Mike Collins had a wonderful time, and I bet you any money he was drunker than we were and having a lovely time with a load of people that were really into it.
Exactly. Well, whenever we're going to see him, whenever Faith No More finally do their show again next year,
Yeah.
we'll take it up with them then.
So next up.
Well, what about Faith No More, actually?
Oh, well, yeah, Faith No More. Jesus Christ. I think we've seen them twice. We saw them 2009 headline when they were just first back. Can you believe that? The reformation of Faith No More after all the years that we thought wasn't going to happen. That was 11 years ago.
I know. That's crazy.
That's fucked up, man.
Crazy. But it was one of the best things that I ever did see at that festival. It was so good.
Exactly, man. Look, there are employees of the month in sweatshops all over the third world that aren't even that old.
They didn't even realise that Faith No More had split up, those people.
I feel their priorities are out of whack. But yeah, fuck me, what a band. I mean, I think that first download set, the 2009 one, I think that is almost the perfect Faith No More set list. I'd maybe swap Chinese Arithmetic out of it because I'm not that bothered by that song. But fucking look at it. United, reunited, real thing, from out of nowhere, Land of Sunshine, Caffeine, Evidence, Chinese Arithmetic, Surprise You're Dead, Easy, Last Cup of Sorrow, Midlife Crisis. Fucking Introduce Yourself, Gentle Art of Enemies, Take This Bowl, Ashes to Ashes, Malpractice, Cooking for Caca, Be Aggressive, Epic, Mark Owen.
That's crazy.
Fuck of a set. And then they come back on an encore with Strip Search and finish with We Care a Lot.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
That's a good time in anyone's book, isn't it?
That has to be. That is solid from A to Z. And I also remember the whole kind of the look that they were doing and the stage they set up.
Yeah, the pure white.
Pure white. They're all wearing white, and there's like nice flowers along the front and everything.
Yeah,
it was a brilliant performance.
Those are two of my absolute favourite ever performances at Download.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about Download for us as well, isn't it? There is only certain bands that will bring everyone together. Because we got mates there that are kind of like 20 years younger than us, nearly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And people who are really into sort of pop punk stuff go off and see Good Charlotte.
And then we've got old kind of crusty punks that are a mate of somebody else's.
And usually what will happen is the start of the day, you'll get up out of your tent and you go, all right, what's everyone seeing? And there'll be 20 different things that people are like, no, I'm definitely going to see this one and this one and this one. And you don't see them for the end of the day.
And you would know because you spend the majority of your time sat in front of the tent drinking.
That's exactly right, mate. It's the best way to do it. But you're right. Stuff like Faith No More, bands like that are ones that everybody goes, oh, I am going to go and see Faith No More.
Yeah. And when you've got a fucking great crew together, that's the best part about it. Yeah. So, what else have we got?
I was going to say another one that everyone, pretty much everyone, goes to see, Metallica.
Yeah.
One of the first shows that we saw of theirs was whenever they did the Secret show around St. Anger.
I didn't see it.
Oh, were you not there?
No, I was there for the day before. You had the inside knowledge that it was going to happen, so I knew it was happening. I had access to a free ticket, but I had something that I had to be at home for. I can't even remember what it was now. Right. That's the fucked up thing about it. It was something that was so important I couldn't go to the show.
Right.
But I can't remember what that fucking was now, and I'd have remembered that show forever. I mean, even though it was on St. Anger, which is their shittest album.
Well, yeah, no, but that was a lovely place to be for it. But then a couple of years later, or maybe even a year later, they did the show where they played all of And Justice for All. We both saw.
No, they played all of Master of Puppets.
Oh, Master of Puppets, of course it was. They played all of that. We both saw that. But then, in terms of kind of the 90s aspect, we were both at the show where they played all of their Black album.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and, that was one of the ones where all of our friends were around. There was just a huge crowd of us watching that together.
They play it back to front?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they started at the end and finished on Enter Sandman.
I mean, fair enough. That is a very front-loaded. You don't want to finish the set on the songs that album ends with.
Exactly. No, that was the right way to do it. It made much more sense to know that your last couple of songs are going to be, Sad But True and Enter Sandman.
Is that when fucking Papa Het started pulling all the Metallica family shit?
Very possibly.
Oh, Metallica's family! Because he went a bit weird after Rehab, didn't he?
Was that Rehab for chocolate that he had to go in for?
Fuck it. Then what else have we got? We got, here's the thing, right?
Yep.
I had two of my favourite 90s moments at that download, I think, where Black Sabbath played. Because I went across with my good friend Matt Collis, friend of the show, and our friend Lanny, and we went and watched tentatively 90s band Refused.
Okay, sure.
And I had what is probably one of my favourite ever single song moments was when they played New Noise, and they just fucking wound it up for ages, and then just the whole crowd. I've got a video of somewhere, just the whole crowd going bounce. And it was like, it was like when we saw Pharaoh Monch and he played
Simon Says.
But so I'd just seen that, and I'll be honest with you, I was very drunk. I'd had some little gins in a tin, and I think I did 4 of them in a row, and went.
Oh wow!
Band, yeah. And then then we went, and I came and met you to watch Soundgarden.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This would be the last time that Chris Cornell ever played. Well, I don't know if it's the last time he ever played. It's certainly the last time we ever saw him.
Yeah, I think there might have been a solo show that he did post that, but it wasn't Soundgarden.
Again, I think this absolutely speaks to the whole idea of it's not necessarily the songs, it's the state of mind you're in. Because I remember that show being fucking brilliant, him absolutely nailing it, him doing it ever since, right? But I spoke to you about, we mentioned this one in the week, and you said...
I said I remember it being really dull. I just remember it being very... No interaction with the band, just played the songs, and it was very flat.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, that's not my memory. I think I was just vibing the song so much. I mean, yeah, friend of the show, Lee Lewis. I remember speaking to her the next day, and her being like, "Yeah, that was shit. He was bored and blah blah blah." And I was like, oh. In my mind, that's a classic show. Like to the point, I never want to see it again because I know I'm probably wrong. But
gin will do that to a person. You get four gins in a straight shot and down, then yeah, you can enjoy a lot of shit.
Absolutely. All right. Well, look, we've chatted a lot so far. I think probably time for one more.
Let's do 2 more.
All right, 2 more. Okay. Who's the first one?
There's 2. I'm going to go the Rage Against the Machine headline show.
Oh man, that was fucking spectacular.
Just ridiculous. Yeah.
That was the same year they did their Finsbury Park show, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it was 2010. Oh, so it was the same year as the AC/DC one that we mentioned before, and they were so fucking hard as nails on the stage. It wasn't like they were going through the motions. There was none of that stuff. Every song was out of this world. They didn't play a dud. One of those ones. There was no time where I went, all right, I'm just going to go for a piss now because this song's a bit average.
Yeah, that's an all-time favourite for me. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Rage Against the Machine show, to be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't think they got it in them.
All right, so we'll do one more. And, for me, it's got to be Tool. I say it's got to be Tool. Tool are my favourite band of all time. I don't really think of them necessarily as a festival band. I've seen them festivals and I've mostly liked them less than when I've seen them live. But
yeah, that's fair.
Having them come back last year and headline Download after so long away, to be surrounded with and just hear those songs again. Those songs that you kind of gone, I'm not enough for that. I was in no matter how much you love a band, you see the same set a few times and you're kind of thinking, I'm not that, but then you hear them live again in that setting and all the blood flows through you and you lose your fucking mind and you have the best fucking time of your life.
Yeah. And we had made very sure that we had had enough beers throughout the day that we were in the right zone for it.
Oh, yes.
Again, it was one of those bands where everyone in our crew was like, okay, let's all go and see Tool. So we were all watching them together. Again, the band were on point. They're never not going to be good, a band like that. The sound was great where we were. The set list, I would say, because the new album hadn't come out yet and they played 2 12-minute songs off the new album, which were also kind of slow and ponderous, I would have preferred if they had swapped those out for some of the classics.
Get that, but if I'd have left that show without hearing something new after all of that fucking wait, I'd have rioted.
Well, true, because I suppose the album wasn't even out at that point, so this was the only way to hear it. It was brilliant, and I loved being part of it with everyone, of our crew around us.
Yeah. So this year it would have been System of a Down, it'd have been Iron Maiden, it'd have been Kiss in their last ever show until they do another lucrative reunion tour or whatever. It wasn't a classic lineup for me this year, but there was plenty of stuff to get excited about. And I'm really, really fucking... Because we're lucidly having a conversation at this point. Where are we now? 9:30. We would be fucking arseholed.
Totally. I would be, elbow deep in a tube of Pringles, and that would be the only thing I'd eaten all evening.
I'd have barbecued twice by now.
That's true, or pizzaed. Yeah.
Yeah, last year I took a pizza oven to download.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It's indeed, but we would be, healthily getting through those beers, which were still cold on day one, and we would be having the time of our life, mate.
Oh, man.
Never mind. Next year, man.
Right. Okay, guys. So let's say a big thank you to Download Festival for being the backdrop for so many of our good times over the years.
And to Andy Copping especially, because he's always sorted me out if I need to get a couple of bits extra or whatever.
Thank you very much. And yeah, man, fucking what a festival that is. I've been to every single one. I hope I continue for many, many years until my fucking back gives out.
Yeah, only a matter of time.
Anyway, look, this episode was for us more than for you, if the truth be told. We wanted to have a chat. If you've got something out of this, hope you've enjoyed it. If you thought it was absolute bollocks, we'll be back soon with more of the normal shit. And yeah, what a load of bollocks, Chris. I'm going to go and drink a fucking warm San Miguel in my garden under my gazebo.
Right, I'm going to, try not to sleep in my own vomit tonight.
Well, that's every night.
Well, I try every night, sure.
Wicked. Well, so everyone that's ever been part of our Download crew, if you enjoy Download, that's your thing, share your memories online with us. We'd love to chat to you on Twitter about it. Love to chat to you on Facebook about it, as always. And guys, you've been fucking amazing. We'll catch you soon. Take it easy.
Nice one. Cheers. Bye. Thank you for checking out this episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. It was produced and edited by us, for which we can only apologise. We're on Twitter at PCL Podcast, on Instagram also at PCL Podcast, and facebook.com/PCL Podcast. All of these, plus links to our various Spotify playlists, etc., are on our website, which is pclpodcast.com. Please feel free to get in contact via any of the social media or on pclmusicpodcast@gmail.com.